It's a lift. That's why I go to the gym.
We are finished with Dash's procedure. He is back in the crate. We were hoping to show you a little bit more of the recovery, but we always listen to the animals. And Dash was swallowing pretty closely after he was off isoflurane, so they got him in his crate and pulled his intubation tube. And now we'll let Dr. Camper do her job, and then we can talk to her a little bit about how the procedure went and what she's kind of doing right now. So we're watching Dash right now, who's just been put back in his crate. His intubation tube has been pulled. We're monitoring his breathing as well as any reflexes. Dr. Camper, how did the procedure go?
It went very well.
Is there a big difference in neutering a tiger than there is a domestic cat?
There is, in fact. I would say the biggest difference is what's called a tunic. It's like a wrapping of really elastic tissue, and in something small like a domestic cat, it's, maybe the thickness of a piece of paper. And in these big guys, it's like 100 of those things. Very, very elastic and very, very thick. So that all has to be moved before the actual neutering takes place.
Can you talk a little bit about the recovery process, like when we brought him back, and if we do reversals and what reversals are and things like that?
So the drugs that we use to anesthetize them, there are kind of a cocktail of drugs, and many of those drugs have other drugs that counteract them. So depending on how long the procedure is, how quickly they're waking up, we often will give reversals to those drugs just to clear them out of the system a little faster.
Awesome. And do you know, what are you watching for to determine if you're going to give reversals to Dash or not?
He started showing signs of waking up pretty quickly. So we're going to see how he does over the next few minutes. Okay. A lot of those anesthetic drugs have probably worked their way through his system, so we may not need to use them, but we are ready if we do.
Awesome. So remember, as patiently as we were when he was sedated, waiting for him to go to sleep, we kind of reversed the process with him waking up. So he's taking good breaths. You might even be able to hear kind of his exhale when he does that. He's still sleeping. So waking up is really dependent upon if he still has any of those injectables on board and how long he's been under for procedures. Compromised cats that are older can take longer time to wake up, especially if they've had a long procedure, like we've gone to the Animal Emergency Referral Center, things like that. So the time for recovery can be very quick. Some cats wake up in less than 10 minutes, others take longer. And then depending upon the cat and the procedure and how their personalities are, will depend upon also how soon the staff and the vet team want to wake up the cats. So for example, if we have a cat that really doesn't like being in a crate, we will actually keep them asleep as we run them back down to their rooms and put them in the room and then do the reversal agents there so that they don't have to wake up stressed in a crate. But ideally, again, the longer we can keep cats in the hospital prior to mobilization and after, the more resources we have available to them if we needed to intervene for any reason. So you guys could be sitting with us for 5 minutes, 35 minutes, as this little boy wakes up. Joy, I know as our hospital manager, you spent several hours with cats recovering. Tell us a little bit about those experiences and what you're watching for now and when they start waking up.
So he started waking up pretty quickly after we put him in his crate. So I'm kind of watching his whole body. I'm watching his eyes, his eye movement, and if there's any twitching of the skin around. Watching his tongue, if he has control of it, jaw tone, watching ears for any flicking, or toes for any movement, and we're watching his respirations, obviously. So we're just watching him, making sure that he's going to recover well. Every once in a while, we'll need to intervene. I don't expect that with Dash. He's a young, healthy boy. And didn't even need his reversal.
And he just got an ear twitch, gave an ear twitch to Dr. Camper over there when she touched his ears with a syringe. So he's getting lighter. And I know Teresa will go a little bit more into detail, but your vet days don't end as soon as this crate goes down. I know there's been many times you spend hours here into the PM, especially for the older residents that take longer time to wake up. I know there's times you've gone home and then we've called you back just because the cat was waking up and then whether recycles the drug or just relaxes and goes to sleep and that we need you here. So, I mean, for a day like today, like how many hours is an average big cat vet day?
It's all day from the first injection. Was just after 10 for Dash, and until he decides that he's awake enough to be left alone. So I imagine he'll be up here for a few hours before he goes down to his room, and then we'll still watch him once he's down there to make sure, he's awake and up and has control of himself before we leave him.
Awesome. I know, Dr. Camper, people have asked, like, how painful is a neuter surgery? Like, what is his recovery going to be like?
It's certainly painful. We did as much as we could to help with that. He got local anesthetic blocks at the site of the surgery. He's going to be on some pain medication. But typically by tomorrow morning, he's going to act like nothing happened.
That's awesome. So I know many of you have been watching the live post. We're here with Dash, watching him for wake up and recovery. He was deciding that he was going to quick to wake up from surgery, and now he's in a nice, comfy place again, so he's relaxing. And so we are going to be moving him to Wild Woodlands. I know people have a lot of feelings about that, but be rest assured that the caretakers pay close attention to what the animals are telling them. And that can sometimes be challenging when we want to put our human emotion onto it. But I kind of remind all of us, sleepy boy, I saw your tongue moving. Remind all of us that a lot of this is cats grow up, kids grow up. Dash is not bonded to his mother in the mother sense, and we know Winona has made it very clear she wants to live alone. She did not want to live with Marcus. She is, I would say cordial to Dash, but we have not seen tons of interaction unless a human is present, because they both respond to human presence a lot more than they respond to each other. So it's really looking at what's best for each cat here, even though it might not be what our hearts wanted the happy ending to be. And we will always put the cat's needs first. Think of all the domestic dogs and cats you have in your home. At one point, they were with their parents, and they left their parents, and they are with you in happy homes, not wondering where mama cat or dad dog is. And so we have to really sometimes separate what our hearts want versus what's in the best interest for Dash and Winona for the next 20 years of his life here at the sanctuary. And of course, if we don't find that miracle match, or there's any negative reactions in the longer term for any neighbors, we don't make cats stay where they were, where we move them to. It's all about reading that behavior and what's best for him. So Dash is still deciding to go to sleep a little bit. He moved his tongue in his ear. Let's see if there's still a twitch. So he's there. He's just taking the time. It's relaxing to have those on board.
He's a little different than some of our other cats that are more stressed than more humans that are around.
Yep.
And those we let be in a little more seclusion. Dash loves to be around people,
Yep.
so this is relaxing for him.
Yeah.
Comfortable for him.
I'm gonna stand up again, but I'm gonna use the handle, but I don't wanna use. So Dash is sleeping, he's relaxing. Cats sometimes wake up very slow, others wake up just in a moment's notice. Each is different. And it's about monitoring how they're doing. And Dash is doing great. So if you're with us today, this is our medical marathon with Tiger Dash, who had his wellness exams, and he was neutered today, got his booster vaccines. He's doing wonderfully. Elise is kind of stimulating his nose there a little bit to see if being too relaxed with all of his favorite humans around is waking him up slower. But these are things that we really don't rush. And then as the Dr. Camper said, is she's going to wait a few minutes, see what he wakes up on his own, or if they're going to give reversals. So they're discussing it now to see how alert he was on his own and seeing if we want to reverse any of the immobilization medications. Just had a big swallow. Dasher! Can I always say who's hungry? But Dash will not eat till he's fully awake. And similar to your dogs and cats prior to surgery, we fast our cats. We don't want them to have full bellies and have a chance of aspirating. So we pull their food the night before. We pull their water the morning of, or sometimes the night before, depending upon the procedure. And they will keep his room water empty until he's sternal enough to be able to drink water without having a chance of him kind of plopping his face in it or falling back to sleep and anything that could cause an issue. That's funny. Somebody says he's dreaming about Tammy. Honestly, he's dreaming about every human and every piece of food he could ever think of. So we appreciate you guys being with us all day long for this triple match. As you can see, it takes a lot of staff to do a big cat vet day. It takes a lot of wonderful volunteer staff as well. It takes money to buy all the supplies needed. You look at stuff that you don't even think of is the crate that he's in that doesn't only do vet days, but does rescues, does moves to other habitats here at the sanctuary. Those crates can be upward of $4,000. We have the medical supplies. You saw the trailer and the truck that was needed. Everything from the small amount of tongs and food bowls and water dishes and bed boxes. It all adds up, especially with Tiger Dash, who likes to not reuse water bowls and have to replace them. Daisy's definitely one of those two. Daisy the tiger always reused her water bowls into toys and repurposed them, and we always had to replace them. So things add up, but it's always so important when your support comes in, because it allows us to do everything they need all the time. Dasher, are you staying asleep? It's time to get up. Facebook world is saying, Dasher, time to get up. He's taking some great breaths. Here's another big one. Good boy. Good boy. He says, nap time. I'm a growing boy. I need my nap. So if you're just joining us, we're with Mr. Beautiful Dash as he is waking up from anesthesia and his procedures.
What you do. But I wanted to discuss.
Oops, sorry. Nothing like watching a sleeping tiger lie. It has been definitely a different experience today, seeing this boy actually be still, even if it is medically induced for his procedure, because he is such an active tiger. There's a big breath. So as exciting as I know people love seeing vet procedures on live post, what you now realize is how much of a waiting game procedures can be. But it is the important part of the procedures. What a big boy. Dasheroo! Sleep is good. You still gonna flick your ear for us? He says, I feel that. So as we're in here with our team, the caretaking team is still outside caring for over 100 residents. They're doing feeding, cleaning. They, come in and help when it's time to move the crate and everything down. But the work never stops, even on a rescue day, on a vet day. And then there's still the cleanup. So once he goes down, We still have to put everything away. We make sure everything's been inventoried for the day. The laundry has to be done. Want to get the hospital ready and prepped in case we need to see another cat in the near future. Elise said that she needs a cot on the ground to be next to Dash. Well, if he takes too long, we won't make you guys patiently wait with all of us, but we thought it was important to always show you kind of really the true behind the scenes. When you see things on TV, they're always edited. So it's like the animal goes down in 30 seconds, is awake in 30 seconds, and back with its family in 30 seconds. That is not how it works in real life. Well, once Dash starts waking up, we'll bring you back for a live post before he goes back to his room, and you guys go along for that ride as well. But right now we're going to be patiently wait for him to wake up as he sees fit. He's doing great. He had a great day, and he's stable, so we'll keep everybody posted. Thanks again for being part of Dash's medical marathon for the Miracle Match.